Hello everyone, how's it going? I am Louis, the Average Guy 1983. Thank you very much for joining me on this video. In today's video, I have the opportunity to talk to you guys about the Emove Project Daytona. I'm really excited about this, so let's go ahead and roll the intro so I can talk to you guys more about this scooter. Alrighty, my friends, so before we get started, I wanted to give a special thanks to Melvin for allowing me to come over here and review this model. This is, again, a beta testing model, so a lot of the things I'm about to show you guys, are beta and they're not finalized or confirmed yet. This is why it's important for you guys to chime in the comments and give Melvin your opinion on what you guys think about certain things that are on the scooter, so that when the final production starts being made, some of the things that you guys were concerned about can be addressed. So I did want to let you guys know that this right here is a dual 2000 watt motor scooter that will most likely be peaking at 4000 watts times 2, so 8000 watts power. That could change though. Obviously, I'm just going by the rule of thumb of nominal power versus peak power. When it comes to the battery, they went with 72 volts, 40 amp hours. I know some of you guys may be very disappointed at that. I was hoping to see a 72 volt, 50 or 60 amp hour battery. The reason why they chose to go this route is because they want to keep the scooter as light as possible. And it does have a 21700 LG batteries. It'll either be LG or Samsung battery cells that are going to be on the scooter, so you can rest assured that it's going to have a good quality battery. When it comes to the sine wave controller specs, I can't provide that information for you guys yet because Melvin did inform me that they're working with 2 different manufacturers to find out which brand are they going to go with and the specs of the sine wave controller to make sure that the sine wave controller works well with the scooter and it doesn't have any issues. So again, this is a pre-production model, so what you guys are about to see are pre-production stuff and things can change. Alrighty, my friends, so as you guys can see, I'm 5'6" and this scooter is pretty tall. The handlebar is a little bit slightly too high. I can tell you right now that if I climb on it like this, so you can get an idea of what it fits like. And it is a little bit tall. I do want to see if it's possible to be able to adjust this a little bit lower. It probably can be by adjusting all of these brackets, which might take a little bit of time. But this is really cool. I like it a lot. This scooter is literally the only production model or beta model that's available. Nobody else has it. You cannot get this from China or anything like that. You could only get this at Voro. It does have 13-inch by 5-inch tires, which are exactly the same ones that are on the Dualtron Limited. I think this is a great size for most people. Like I said earlier, this is a beta model. So everything that I'm about to show you is just beta. So things can change, like the calipers can change, the disc brakes can change, the display can be changed, but this is a really good opportunity for you to comment down below and give your honest opinion if you plan on buying one of these, what you would like to see on the scooter for the price. So let me bring you guys closer so you guys can take a look at everything. Alrighty, my friends, so talking about the rear areas, like you guys can see here, this is the best I can get for you guys. Hope you guys can see everything clear. But this is a dual 2000 watt motor that has a 13-inch by 5-inch wide tire, which is identical to that of the Dualtron Limited. So I do expect for the ride comfort to be a whole lot better versus 11-inch tires. This particular beta model does come with 4 piston brakes that you can see here. They look really nice. We don't know the brand of these, but Melvin is thinking about going with like .4 style type brakes, like motorcycle grade. So we're unsure yet on what's going to be done, but this is what it has right now with a very thick 160 millimeter rotor, which is in the same quality level as the RS with the thick rotor that I actually like. Alrighty, my friends, so talking about the rear of the scooter, you can see that there are pre-drilled holes here on the swing arm, and that is to be able to add a rear fender. There will be a front fender, but they took them off because of the whole CES trip and trying to just make sure that they got to fit the scooters properly into the truck that they used. Also right here in the back where my finger is pointing, you can see that there is a shock that's identical to that of the Nami scooters. So a lot of people really like the Nami scooter shocks, so that should give you like an idea of how comfortable this is going to feel. Obviously, I'm going to test it out for myself and see how this does, but I just want to show you guys some of the additional features, and it does have an adjustable rebound as well. Alrighty, my friends, so when it comes to the rear tail lights and turn signals, this is the location of it right now with this beta model. Melvin did tell me that they are unsure if they're going to keep this design or if they're going to be replacing these in a different position or area of the scooter, or if they're going to just make them brighter, because he's not satisfied with the brightness of the lights. They're very, very dim in the daytime. In fact, you could barely see them when I turned it on earlier, and it was barely viewable. This thing is not finalized, so just know that this is the current brake light slash turn signal. There won't be any turn signals in the front, unfortunately, due to possible risk of there being issues with any kind of shorting of the sine wave controllers that get used for all of this stuff. Alrighty, my friends, so talking about the pegs, they're pretty easy to open, just like that. Melvin did mention that this design is going to change. It's not going to be like this. They're actually going to be adding little spikes to the peg. And what's going to be happening here is they're also going to reverse the way this opens up. So you know how it opens up like this right now? You just push it and opens up. If something was to come across this way and it hits it, it's going to damage the frame like you already see here. So this is the reason why it's a good idea to have a beta testing model to find out what it can do. Now, we don't know what happened to this thing. This is the only production model or pre-production model that there is. So it's good to be seeing some feedback though. But again, this will be reversed because if anything gets hit this way, it can damage the frame. So you see how if I go this way, this easily moves. This is exactly how it's going to be, but facing the correct way. So you guys don't have to worry about this. And again, it just closes up like no issue. Now, regarding some people's concerns about this sticking out too much and not being able to be more recessed, it might not be a possibility to change that feature because the battery on the inside is pretty wide. However, if you need to take it off, it is pretty easy to take off with the screw. You can take it off and not have it on. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that to you guys about this. At the top of the deck, you can see a little latch here that can be pulled up. This is supposed to be able to lock the handlebar area or the stem to this and be able to pick it up a little bit to like put it into a car. It's a pretty small latch. I'm a little concerned about this, but this is where it's supposed to go. And when you're not using it, you can just lay it flat down just like that so it doesn't get in the way. Alrighty, my friends, so it does have dual charging ports. Here's one of them that you can see right here in the open. We do have another one right here, but unfortunately it got taped up because like you guys can see, whoever was at CES that pre-reviewed this product and took it out for a spin, they really did a number of damages to this, and that is why it looks the way it does and why the frame is cracked. Again, this is a pre-production model. It doesn't mean that this is how it's going to come. It just means that, you know, a lot of the parts here are 3D printed, which is one of the reasons why they're in the conditions that they are. But again, you know, it was pushed too hard, and unfortunately, a lot of parts broke on the scooter, and it's kind of messed up that happened. However, these are the charging ports. There's one here and one over here. They look very similar to that of the ones that are on the current RS model. The deck is pretty wide. I can't give you guys the specs on that because I didn't bring a measuring tape, but I'll try to get you guys that information on the screen if I'm able to. But with that said, let's go ahead and move further up on this scooter. Alrighty, my friends, so you guys can see right here that there's a sticker that says backbone, which is for the entire scooter. It looks really nice. You can see that right here we have some threaded holes right here. This is for the steering damper that goes with a clamp right here. Unfortunately, the steering damper was lost during the transportation process coming back from CES. And I'm not going to be able to push this to its limits because of the fact that it has a missing steering damper and there is speed wobbles with this scooter. That's pretty much common for any scooter going above 40 miles an hour that doesn't have a steering damper. Having problems with speed wobbles, so I won't be able to push this hard. Alrighty, my friends, so like I showed you guys in the back, you do have some pre-drilled holes on the swing arms on both sides to put a fender on the front as well. And you can see the shock that was used on the Nami also now being used here on Project Daytona. So you guys can see, this is a close-up I can give you guys from the camera angle, but this should be very nice when it comes to riding out in the open road. Alrighty, so talking about the stem locking mechanism, this is it right here. It's just a knob that you have to turn to remove the screw. As of right now, because of the design of this, you have to take the whole screw off in order to be able to get the bracket off and then fold this down so you can load it into your car. They do plan on changing this a little bit so that it's better and easier to be able to drop down and load into your car. So just keep in mind that this is not finalized. This is just what this looks like currently on this model. Alrighty, my friends, so like I've showed you guys earlier in the back, you do have your 4-piston brake caliper. You have your 160 millimeter rotor on a 13-inch by 5-inch wide tire. Alrighty, my friends, and when it comes to the motor wire, it does have the same type of style of cable as like that of the InMotion RS. However, voromotors completely understood what was going on with that plug, and the cable that you see here is going to be a whole lot more thicker gauge than what you currently see here. So again, This is a beta model, so the cable's going to be very similar, but a whole lot thicker to avoid the cables burning up and charring on you, or even having this plug get stuck. Regarding the tire changes as well for this unit, they're going to be using blue Loctite instead of using the white Loctite industrial grade that Duotron has been known to use on their scooters, making it almost impossible to change out a tire. So this is a really big plus and a positive thing on Emove and voromotors. Alrighty, my friends, and up in the front, this is actually the location of where the sine wave controllers are going to be resting. So when the metal here gets cooled off with wind, it's going to help reduce that heat of the sine wave controllers, so you won't have any issues with overheating. This is actually a design trait of the Cabo scooters, specifically the GTR. So this is a nice design trait being put and implemented into Project Daytona. Also at the top, it's a very powerful but very nice light that actually has a nice cutoff at the top, so you don't have to worry about blinding people. You just adjust this a little bit up or down, and then once you have it nicely adjusted, you tighten it down with a screw and you're good to go. All right, going up higher on the scooter, you can see that there is a daytime running light with the voromotors logo. It does have a very nice design wiring on the edges, so I really like the way this is being implemented on the wiring. What I like about this personally for myself is that I'll be able to add a dash cam to this thing if I actually buy one of these models, which I might actually buy one once it's ready. But with that said though, it does have your front and your rear brakes, as well as really good locked on handlebar grips and your display up at the top. So now that I took you guys through this, let me go ahead and show you guys what the display looks like as well as the buttons. Alrighty, my friends, so hopefully you guys can see this okay. So this right here is going to be the new button layout. This for sure is something that's going to stay. It's like 90% sure that they're going to keep this. It's very easy to use. You got your headlight button. If you press and hold the plus button, the headlight will turn on. Press and hold the plus button again, the headlight will turn off. Press and hold the minus button and you'll go into walk mode, which will take you about maybe 1 to 2 miles per hour on the ride, so you don't have to worry about carrying it, heavily up a hill or anything like that that you might not be able to climb for whatever reason. It currently does not have a horn, but it might have one. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been able to confirm that. The memory button you do press to be able to get access to your menu settings. You double press it to get into it, and then double press it to get out of it, and then you have your left and right turn signal. And at the very bottom right here, this little orange button is your power button for the scooter. So let me take you guys over to the display so you guys can see what this looks like. And you guys are going to have a really good chance to either keep the display or go to the original one that's on the Roadrunner Pro as well as the Emove Roadster. The choice is pretty much your guys's, and Melvin really wants to hear from you guys. Alrighty, my friends, so let's talk about the display real quick. So this is a new display, and you guys are going to have a really big say-so here. So make sure that you comment down below on what you guys think about this display versus the one that's currently on the Emove Roadrunner Pro as well as the Emove Roadster. I personally think that this display looks a whole lot nicer, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. So as you guys can see, it is on park mode right now. You do have to push on the brake lever on either side to be able to disengage it, and it'll go to neutral. Neutral is set only so that in case you accidentally push on the thumb throttle, you won't have it move on you and cause some kind of accident. If you push the plus button, you'll be able to change it to eco mode. Push it again, you change it to low, medium, high, and sport mode. And then push the minus button to go back down to eco mode or to neutral. It's very easy to use. As you guys can see right here, it does have the voltage at 77.1 and also the battery percentage, which is freaking genius, as well as the time, the amp hours that's being drawn on the motors, as well as your temperature setting here. So hopefully this can be changed to Fahrenheit, but it might be on Celsius as well. You have your option for rear, front, and dual motor. By changing that, you just press and hold the M button, and then it'll change to front. Press and hold the M button again, and you get rear and front motor together. I personally think that if you're shopping for a dual motor scooter, you definitely want to keep it at dual motors for sure. With that said though, this is the information right here, and you can see your trip information at 16.7 miles, which is what it has been used for. So it's nice to see that this display looks nice. So let me know what you guys think about the display. I personally think it looks awesome. I would prefer this display over the one that's currently on the Emove Roadrunner Pro and the Emove Roadster because it kind of looks outdated versus this display. But Melvin does want to hear from you guys. Again, look, check this out, guys. You guys actually get your voltage information as well as battery percentage. So I think that's a really good thing when you're trying to keep an eye on both stuff. Not everybody has a chart on them to be keeping an eye on the voltage, and they rely on percentage, but you can kind of get an idea of what to look for. So this is it, guys. This is what everything looks like. Let me go ahead and show you guys what the thumb throttle looks like real quick. And this right here, my friends, is the thumb throttle, and you can see you can just press it down and it doesn't move because the scooter is currently on neutral. However, Melvin did say that he wants to try to change this out for one that's kind of like a trigger one where it goes in backwards and you just push the button down from the bottom to make it a little bit more comfortable, like to kind of change the design. But again, everything is up in the air right now. So with that said, my friends, let's go ahead and test it out. Alrighty, my friends, and we are geared up. We're ready to go. We're going to go ahead and hop on the Project Daytona, and we're going to go ahead and put it in eco mode and see how it does. So again, my rear foot is going to be right here on the deck. I don't want to put it here on the plate. I want to have it here, and my front foot is going to be located right here. And we'll leave the pegs open too, why not? There we go, just to see how that feels like. All right, here we go. All right, so it does have some good acceleration, pretty aggressive for eco mode. The handlebar is a little too on the high side, and it is staying 26 miles an hour. Okay, I could see that. Okay, right now I have my foot on the rear peg, and I could see it much easier for me to like maneuver myself. Not a bad choice. But yeah, because of how loose the stem is, guys, even at this speed, I can kind of feel a little bit of speed wobble. Let's see the speed for low. So far 35. Yeah, you know what, it is getting some speed wobble. You guys kind of got to see it there. It's also because the handlebar is a little bit high up, so it would be nice to like be able to lower it down a little bit more and get a good feel for it. Okay, so I do have my hands firmly on the handlebar and pushing forward to kind of prevent the speed wobbles. It does kind of help, but you can kind of see my hands right there moving a little bit crazy. That's pretty nuts. Let's go ahead and turn around. So yeah, for sure, because of how this handlebar height is adjusted to, which is at the standard highest setting, you do get speed wobbles above 30 miles an hour. But again, my friends, this is just like a prototype. And again, if I was to buy the scooter, I would definitely try to find a way to drop down the stem at least, I'm going to say 3 to 4 inches lower, like the way I have my RS. But so far, I can see now why I can't take it up higher than low gear. And low gear goes a little bit above 35 miles an hour based on what it says on the display. So not bad for what it is. So let me give you guys my final input on this, because this is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and drop this down to neutral again. The pegs are actually really nice. I was able to maneuver myself easier going to left or right by having my foot here versus having it just on the deck. So that's a nice touch, man, for real. It would really help with being able to maneuver yourself to the left or to the right. So I really like that. Alrighty guys, let me go ahead and get off of this, and we're going to go ahead and finish talking about the scooter. Alrighty, my friends, I hope you guys got to enjoy this video. This concludes the video of the Project Daytona. I do want to make sure that I get to retest this scooter again once the full production model is done, because like you guys were able to see, I got to get some speed wobbles on this thing, and riding it in low gear, which apparently on the display, it got me up to close to 34 to 35 miles an hour, which is technically supposed to be comfortable. I did my best to try to keep my steering as solid as possible on the handlebar, but because it's also a lot higher, it made it a little bit difficult for somebody like myself at 5'6". So I would like to try to figure out a way to lower down the stem just a little bit more, maybe 3 to 4 inches lower, so that I can feel a little bit more comfortable riding. With that said, though, this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, you guys have any questions regarding this or suggestions, please make sure to comment down below, because Melvin for sure wants to hear from you. All right, up until next time, I am Louis the Average Guy 1983. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.